I thought I did everything right. I thought everything that I was supposed to do, I did. In order to climb the ladder, I'm going to do whatever is required. I feel like the higher the ladder I go, the more miserable I feel. And that's not the way it's supposed to work. So what can I do?
I'm so excited to have a special guest, Patty Dominguez. In this episode, Patty is going to share her amazing journey after leaving her corporate job at the top of her peak. So welcome, Patty.
Thank you so much for having me on your show and inviting me to be on. It's truly an honor. I always find you to be so inspiring. So I'm happy to contribute wherever I can. So let's have some fun.
Yes. I understand that back in like 2012, right? You moved away from your corporate. So could you share just a brief story to get started?
Thank you. I mean, ever since I was young, my parents are from Central America, and their big wish was for me to go to school, to go to college so I can have a good job. I had done all the steps that I needed to do in order to have a career. I'm going to do whatever is required. You know, I had that mentality. And it was like if somebody was at work until 5, I wanted to be there till 5:30 because I wanted to show that I was the one that was doing the most in order to be considered for the next level and all the things. And so in 2008, when the market crashed in October, I was given a pink slip. I was let go from that job. And it was a very jarring thing for me because I genuinely thought, how could I let this happen? I thought I did everything right. I thought everything that I was supposed to do, I did. And so it just really gave me that first realization that I didn't have security in the job that I had. I thought if I got my college, if I got my MBA, if I climbed the ladder, if I had a big position, that I would be safe. And that's definitely not the truth. And so I went back into a job in 2009. But in the back of my head, I thought to myself, I really need to figure out a way. I think when you have clarity on something, when the mind expands to a new idea, it can never return to the way that it was. Because once you know, you can't unknow what you know. And that's when I started really recognizing, I'm like, well, I have to do something different. And then I started tuning in and figuring out what is it that makes me happy? Because what is happening is I'm not happy. I would go into work and I would see people doing the same thing over and over again. It was a routine. It was like the hamster on the wheel, and we're just doing and we're going through the motions, but we're not really stopping and figuring out. I think the biggest insult that you can do in life is to say, I'm killing time. I'm just killing time. This is an expression in English that people say. I'm killing time.
I love it.
Well, it's horrible because if you think about it, how disrespectful. We have a finite amount of time. And so what we want to do is make sure we're honoring our time because we take time for granted. And if you only have a specific amount of time, why would you waste it?
Your story brought me back to my memory that I also had that realization of I'm killing my time. Because during business dinner with my client back in my corporate, there are a lot of like a dinner and I had to spend with them rather than spending meaningful conversation with my husband. I love him so much. Losing my time. And they are talking, chit-chatting, all these kind of corporate politics and who's who, where to connect. Okay, that's nice. But why am I here?
Here's the thing. I mean, I will say that being an entrepreneur, again, when it's been 11 years for me, I wouldn't trade it for the world. You do go through a lot of different ebbs and flows. And I think that which energy, that's what you teach. But it's also the most profound way that you can grow, right? And the best part of it, and the thing that we have talked about, you and I, is that we are women midlife, past midlife, and we are in our prime. I mean, I genuinely believe that. Yeah, I really do. I think it's so exciting. That's why I have to bring it back to you because I admire you so much. You
Oh, thank
are
you.
someone, yeah, seriously, you're someone that I talk to people about all the time. I'm like, oh,
Yay.
Miyako, you should see. She's so amazing. She's in her 60s. She's a YouTuber and is a TikToker and doing amazing things. And it just goes to show you, if you have that yearning, if you have the feeling that you want to do something different, your body is telling you. And so you have to lean into it, even when it seems crazy, because what we do to other people may sound crazy, right? We're talking about postmenopause or menopause or perimenopause and stuff. And to other people, they'd be like, that's so weird. You know, why would they want to? But I know you have such a specific mission. I have a mission for what I do. And I think that's the important thing, is just revisiting and coming back to the core of your why.
I wanted to share, Patty was one of the mentors, opened up the way for me to being able to help high-performing women in perimenopause and menopause going through the challenges.
Right.
You actually opened the way talking about your perimenopause journey.
I think I was 40 or 41, very early.
I remember.
And it was horrible. It was such a horrible experience. Like the hormonal fluctuations and the hot flashes, and my hair would fall out in clumps. Crazy menopausal symptoms. And then you said to me, and I'll never forget, you're like, oh, I've never had a hot flash. I was like, what? And that was my face. I was like, what? My eyeballs were like big plates. I was like, how is that possible? And then you said, well, because of my breathing and, you know, how I put into practice what I've learned over 30 years. I'm like, what? I said, Miyako, the women in perimenopause and menopause deserve to know this information, because we here in the United States, in Western society, have no idea about what you're talking about. And this is so needed in the world. And you said, oh my gosh, I can help people with this, with what I know, who are perimenopausal and menopausal.
So for you, is there anything you can share with how you managed your battle inside you? Maybe subconscious or conscious?
The important thing that I discovered is really honoring who you are and putting yourself first. And it's not selfish to do so. So in the morning, I have my quiet time. I have my meditation time. I have my journaling time. I write my affirmations. And I have a very specific pattern, routine, if you will, of what I do every single morning. And because of that, I have more peace and calm, and I'm more grounded, and I feel joyful, and it brings a better version of me when it's time to help my clients. What you teach is so important, because if you are a high performing woman, it's redefining what that means.
Yes, exactly.
In your prime years, you have to redefine what it means to be high performing. It's not doing until you're exhausted. It's putting yourself first, self-care, understanding how energy works so that you can work the energy in your favor. And that's what's going to give you the compounded effect, more energy, more vitality, more of what you really want.
How we can manage our energy comes first. Because like you said, when we don't have enough energy, how can we serve your family or the people you care for, right? Like your clients, all these. If you are like too exhausted, it's so beautiful to take care of yourself, but also take care of your passion too, which comes back to our topic. And once you have that, there is, I call this like utility pathway. It's having more space and balance in your lifestyle. What are you passionate about right now?
I'm so passionate about it. I feel like we need to redefine what it means to be small business owners. And I'm very proud of being a small business owner. And I shop at small businesses. I purposely will select small businesses because we have to support each other as business owners and entrepreneurs. What you do creates an impact. If you can help a woman be in her prime, feel secure, have more energy, more vitality, the ripple effect is immeasurable of that, because she's going to impact her relationships, how she is as a mother, a partner, a sister, right? And it's a grandmother, whatever it is, there's a ripple effect there. So if you have something of value to offer as a business owner, it deserves to be broadcasted out and amplified. So that's what I'm very passionate about.
Right. Is there any like last advice for people who are watching and are feeling, okay, how should I move next? Right? There
Yeah.
might be something still hiding inside of me.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't be where I am had it not been for the good counsel of coaches and
Mm-hmm.
mentors and personal development. I really believe that being an entrepreneur is the greatest personal development school. I would start to invest in yourself, whether
Mm-hmm.
that is investing in a program or a coach or somebody to help you to gather your ideas and help it put into fruition and to see what would be possible. Ask yourself better questions. And when you ask yourself better questions, you'll have better potential outcomes. But if you're just getting bogged down in the, I hate my job and being in that water cooler talk of gossip and things that are not making you feel good or inspired, right? It's time to get inspired. We have a finite amount of time that we're here. Why not make it the best that you can? You deserve to have happiness and fulfillment. And I don't think that's too much to ask. At the end of the day, we just want to be happy.
I'm actually writing a book with Patty's guidance, but people think, okay, are you an author? No, I'm not. I'm not yet.
What would be possible, Miyako, if you did write a book? Or what would be possible if you started a YouTube channel? What would be possible if you changed the angle of what it is that you're selling? Like, you are a great example of somebody who's always living in possibility. But if you're living in consequence, like, oh, well, I can't do it, or, oh, I don't want to do that, I'm afraid, and all these things, and playing small, it's exhausting, it's boring, it doesn't deserve to for you to talk like that,
Yeah.
because it doesn't help you, it doesn't make you feel better, it doesn't bring you up, it doesn't turn on your light to talk like that. So it's like, it's all at the end of the day the choice. Do you want to live in possibility or do you want to live
Mm-hmm.
in consequence? And I never forgot that, and I thought that was so awesome. And for me, the way that I see it
Awesome.
is, I always say I have to ask myself better questions. That's all.
Patty, it's so incredibly inspiring conversation we had. So how can people connect with you? What's the best place for them to
Miyako, thank
visit?
you. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Patty Dominguez, Dominguez at the end. My website, you can just go to positioningexpert.com and it'll redirect you to my website and you can find out more about me there. So I'm not
Yes.
necessarily on Facebook and Instagram, more on LinkedIn because that's where my clients are.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
happy to connect with you on LinkedIn.
So if you happen to find this or search this video coincidentally and find our conversation, it might be the time or the chances that you've been called from the universe, right? So thank you so much for
Miyako.
being here. And I appreciate your guidance for small business owners and entrepreneurs. So much cheers to you and
Thank
all
you.
your listeners and your people who are watching this video. So seeing you soon. Bye.
Bye.